We're often told that to get what you want, you gotta shout your goals from the rooftops. Make it public. But what if I told you that the most powerful way to succeed is actually the complete opposite? What if it's the path that's totally silent? That's what we're digging into today, the incredible power of silent discipline.
So let me ask you a question. What makes someone a genuine force to be reckoned with? I mean, really think about it. The people you look up to, the ones who seem to achieve amazing things, what's their secret? Is it just raw talent, some kind of luck, or is it something else entirely?
Well, the answer, and this is really the whole point of our explainer, is that it has nothing to do with how much noise they make. In fact, it's all about the silence.
To really get why silence is so powerful, we have to talk about a very modern problem. It's a cycle that so many of us, myself included, can get stuck in without even realizing it, and it's called the dopamine trap.
This trap is all about something called dopamine-driven validation, right? It's that feeling, that need for a quick hit of approval from the outside world. You post about a new gym routine or a business idea, and you get this rush from the likes, the comments, the you go messages. But here's the catch. That feeling is super temporary. And worse, it can actually start to replace the feeling of making real progress.
Does any of this sound familiar? This is what we call the loud approach. It's when you're constantly announcing what you're going to do. You need that external praise just to keep the engine running, and your focus shifts from the work itself to the perception of the work. Progress isn't about hitting your targets, it's about how many likes you got on the post about your targets.
Okay, but there is a much, much more powerful way to go about this, a completely different operating system. And this is the path of the silent disciplinarian.
So, what is silent discipline, really? It's basically the art of separating your work from what other people think about it. It means you just show up, day in, day out. You're fueled by your own internal commitment, not by applause from an audience. You're putting in the work when absolutely no one is watching because the work itself is the real reward.
Just let that quote sink in for a second. The scariest level of discipline is quiet. Why scary? Think about it. Because from the outside, it's completely unpredictable. There's no big announcement, no countdown, no hype. There are just results, out of nowhere. That's the power we're talking about.
So let's really get into the core argument here. Let's put these two approaches right next to each other, because it really comes down to a choice between two very, very different paths. Okay, so on one side, you've got the loud performer. Their motivation comes from the outside, from those dopamine hits we talked about. Their focus is all on the hype, on looking the part. And what's the typical result? The talk ends up being a lot bigger than the action. But then, on the other side, you have the silent disciplinarian. Their motivation is totally internal. It's a deep drive for mastery. Their focus is locked onto the process, the craft, the actual work. And the result? It's undeniable. Their actions do all the talking for them.
So this all sounds great, but how do we actually do this? How do you switch from being a performer to being a true practitioner of quiet action? Well, that's the big takeaway.
Now, first things first, let's be super clear about something. This is not about being secretive just for the sake of it. It's not about being shady or hiding things. It's about protecting your focus. Seriously, every little bit of energy you use to write that perfect announcement post is energy you didn't spend on the actual project. This is all about cutting out the noise so you can get into a state of deep, powerful focus.
So here's how you can start. 3 simple but honestly game-changing steps. Number 1, commit to yourself. Just yourself. Choose your goal because you want it, not because you want an audience to watch you do it. Number 2, learn to love the process. Find real satisfaction in those small, daily, consistent actions that nobody else even sees. And number 3, be patient. Trust that when your work is finished, when it's truly great, it won't need a hype man. The result will speak for itself, loud and clear.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question you can ask yourself. When you look at what you're working on, is your work speaking for itself? Or are you the one who's constantly having to speak for your work? Something to think about.